Welcome back. It's another stopover day here in Berea, so we've got a lot of bonding scenes to get through. So let's speak to Alfin here. It would seem they're about to hold mass over at the cathedral. I'm thinking of sneaking in kind of incognito, but... Something the matter? It's nothing. Just pretend I didn't say anything. Oh, and try to get some rest, Rean. You must be exhausted. She seems like she's got something on her mind. Yes, of course. Would you mind if I joined you, Your Highness? I'd feel much more at ease if I at least escorted you to the cathedral. Just as a precaution, of course. Would you, Rean? Thank you so much for your concern. Shall we be off then? Seeing Berea's cathedral up close is always breathtaking. It's strange, like seeing the Septine Church's symbol these days. It's so strangely familiar. I don't know how to describe it. There's something about seeing it that's just sort of like... It's like seeing a symbol in the real world and stuff like that. It's like, I recognize that, I know what that means, I understand that implicitly. That sort of thing, like, ooh. You've been to Berea before, haven't you? That's right. I have a number of noble acquaintances here, even. Speaking of which, today's mass seems to have attracted more of them than usual. Looks like it's intended as an occasion to mourn the losses suffered by Celtic. Oh. Judging by all the people I saw go in, it'll probably be a fairly large event. So it seems I plan to attend as well, to offer my prayers to the market manager. But... no, it's nothing. Let's go inside, Rean. And so Rean and Princess Alfin entered the cathedral to attend the mass currently being held. Of course, they were careful to sit behind the majority of attendees to avoid standing out. However, during the sermon... I'm sure you've all heard by now of the terrible tragedy that took place in Celtic recently. In light of this, let us offer up our prayers for the people there. May Adios be with them all. Rest in peace, Otto. What's going to happen to us from here on out? Can't believe they actually arrested Duke Berea. Not to mention the fact that we've been removed from the Noble Alliance's jurisdiction. Why, though? See no reason to accept the Imperial Army when our own army is still intact. Duke Berea certainly has made a muck of things this time. Are these people for real? Are we supposed to be mourning for the people of Celtic? There's a time and a place for self-pity, and it sure as hell isn't now. Besides, surely Celtic was partly to blame for what happened too, no? I heard all about their belligerent attitude towards Duke Berea, and yet he was arrested simply for teaching them a lesson. Disgraceful, I know. The beloved empire certainly has been on the decline these past couple of years. Can't take much more of this. Just who in the world do you people think you are? Huh? Who dares to raise their voice during Holy Mass? Wait. I know that face. Princess Alfin? How could you make light of what happened in Celtic? Do you genuinely believe that it's none of your concern, that Celtic deserved its fate? Is this how you treat your fellow Erebonians? Don't you realize that by putting aside such social labels, this tragedy could have been prevented? Your Highness. But maybe I'm not one to talk. I may have shared the same sentiments as you all had I continued to live my cozy life in Heimdall. I would have done little other than pity them, without making an attempt to truly understand the gravity of the matter. In the end, it would have just been another event on the long list of things to eventually forget. But please, I beg of you, please realize that whether they are a noble or a commoner, every life matters. The people who suffered in Celtic, who lost their lives because of this war are no less important than any of us. Each and every one of them lived a life of their own and had a future ahead of them until it was ripped away. Highness? Your Highness. Rean. So please, ask anyone in disagreement with the Duke's arrest to go see Celtic for themselves. That's not enough to convince you his arrest was the right thing to do, then by all means, bring your complaints to me. I swear on the honor of my household that I will listen to every single one of you in earnest. I was expecting a headpat from Rean there. After Princess Alphin's speech, they left the cathedral that had turned deathly quiet. From there, Rean escorted her back to the airport. The entire way, she struggled to hold back her tears. Thank you, Rean. I've gotten a hold of myself now. Oh, how embarrassing is it to act out like that during a holy mass? I'm sure my brother would have been able to handle that situation much better. I don't know, to be honest. I think he would have done the same thing. Assuming we're on about the same brother here. Prince Oliver would have handled that in his own way, sure. It would have been very similar, though. It doesn't make your actions any less worthy of respect, however. You don't think it was too much? I mean it when I say that speech hit very close to home. That's why I'm sure some of the nobles there must have been impacted the same way. If anything, I'd say you've made me feel more proud to be a member of the Empire than ever before. Did I? There it is. I'm sure when this war comes to an end, your words will be able to reach even more people too. Until then, all we can do is keep fighting. Thank you, Rean. Hearing you say that is such a relief. Happy to help, Your Highness. Just focus on doing what we can for now, okay? Please don't forget that we're all here to support you. Thank you. Is that sort of thing? I really do like how she is so much like Prince Oliver. In a different way, but she's so like him. After Rean escorted Princess Elf into the Courageous, he headed back to town. So is that it now? She's just on the ship. I just want to see. It's like, has she definitely gone back to the ship then? I would have expected her to stick around and be a dot somewhere, but nope, she's not a dot on the map anymore. Right, so let's see about Laura. I wonder why Laura's going out to the canyon alone. I know she can handle herself just fine, but still. I've got some time on my hands. Let's go check on her. Laura? Ah, looks like she fell off. Laura? Hey, you alright? Why would you jump in there when it's this cold out? Oh, I see you've come along too, Rean. There's no need for concern. It's cold, but refreshing. Looks like the sewage gets drained out into there, though. There's an archway there, look. She seems like she's okay. Like, just how deep is that water, though? Because it looks like you're standing. I would not jump into that. I know she's used to winter swimming, but we're at the coldest part of the year right now. Does she want to clear her mind or something? Raises the question of what could be troubling her. A lot of things. A lot of things. Laura finally came ashore after spending a little more time in the water. Realizing she would be freezing, Rean made sure he had a towel ready for her. My apologies. Perhaps it was a bit much to try my hand at swimming during this time of year. It really was. Is something up? I know you're fond of swimming, but Doing something like this out of the blue isn't like you. See? Sorry, but you're gonna have to let me dry your hair off at least. Very well then. Having dried off her hair, Rean left Laura to finish drying off otherwise and get changed. In the meantime, headed back into town to grab her something warm to drink. A cup of tea! Could be. Thank you for your consideration, Rean. I've warmed up plenty now. See? It was worth me fussing over you. Want to head back to the Courageous? Could catch a cold if you stay out here. No need. I'm fine. As you know, I am used to this. I'd like to apologize for worrying you, however. Oh, I wasn't too worried. It's you we're talking about. So, did you bring that swimsuit from Thor's or something? Yes, actually. I found it in my luggage after leaving. Used it often during the time Emma and I spent in Legram, too. Sounds funny when I say it out loud, but swimming has always been a way for me to wash away my concerns and hesitations. Of course, Emma had a similar reaction to yours whenever I did. It's not funny at all, really. I get what you mean. As a noble, I found myself thinking a lot about what happened here in this province. It is true that what Duke Abarea did to Celtic is beyond unforgivable. However, one could also argue that he never would have employed such tactics if war had never broken out. Yeah, but it did, and he did do that, so... That, to me, that's irrelevant. That's how I'd phrase it. It's like, it's irrelevant. He did do it. It's clear that his position in both the four great houses and the noble alliance is what drove his actions. You may have a point. There's no guarantee that any other noble wouldn't have ended up doing the same. What's funnier than what you said is that I'm technically a noble too, and I never even thought of things like that before. We still have a long way to go. Not just in swordsmanship either. It doesn't benefit us to single-mindedly dedicate ourselves purely to that. Still, I feel that if we're able to make it through this, we'll be so much stronger thanks to the experience. And to rise above every challenge life throws my way, both as a swordsman and a noble. Naturally, that involves trusting in others rather than attempting to deal with those challenges alone. Perhaps you're an ideal partner to keep me in check, Rean. Laura? I didn't mean anything special by that, mind you. It's just that, since you also happen to be a swordsman, we should strive to motivate each other. I'm curious to see where we can go from here. There are many incredible warriors taking part in the war, but together, I believe we can catch up to them. And just maybe, we'll be able to reach the strength of the Lance Maiden herself. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing just how far our swordsmanship will take us. Did you talk for a while longer before deciding to walk back into town? Is that idea of, like, you can see where Laura's coming from, like the warrior of her future and stuff like that, and what it means to be a noble and all that type of stuff. It's like, you know Duke Abarea. It's the best way of putting it. You know Duke Abarea. It's just, no. No. It's that sort of thing, like, no. It's like, I don't know how to phrase it any other way than that. Like, no. No. Right, so where? I'm looking for Milliam, because I want to do Milliam. There she is, with the books. Woo, baby. Which one do I want? Hey, Milliam. Never pictured you as the bookstore type. What are you looking for? I'm not. I just want a good book for making sweet stuff. After all our hard work, I thought it'd be nice to make a treat for everyone. Wow, that's really thoughtful of you. I'm sure the others would be thrilled. Kinda surprising to hear that she brought this up out of the blue, too. Just you wait. You guys are gonna love it, whatever it is. No promises I won't eat it all up before you get the chance to try it, okay? It might be too delicious to resist. As thoughtful as she's being, I'm kind of nervous about letting her cook on her own. What do you say to letting me be your sous chef on this one? If you want. And I get to order you around, and you can't get in my way or you will suffer the consequences. Deal? You got it! No idea where that confidence is coming from, but I can make sure she doesn't blow anything up. We should probably start by deciding what we want to make first. Cookies! After some deliberation, the two settled on making an apple tart. They made a quick supply stop in a store in Berehard, and then headed to the Courageous' kitchen, rolled up their sleeves, and got to work. He's just a stelter. Hiya! Careful, Milliam. That was my hand. Look, this is how you're supposed to hold it, see? Why are you always cramping my style? Cooking's all about heart, and I got tons of that. Well, you're gonna stab me in the heart if you don't stop brandishing that kitchen knife like a deadly weapon. My arm's going dead. Can I stop whisking this now? Sure. If you don't want it to rise properly in the oven. Come on, stop whining and concentrate. And no tasting until it's done. Oh, fine. Full speed whisking ahead. Great, now we just need to wait for it to cool. I'm so excited! Is it ready yet? It's been less than a minute. Watching over and supporting Milliam proved to be no small task. Thankfully, the apple tart was successfully completed. Oh, look at it! Yay, we're finally done! And look how nice it looks. It's really magical what can happen when you don't use salt instead of sugar. Oh, why'd you guys ruin the moment by bringing that up? Still, thanks for all the help. You're welcome. It was fun. This idea kind of came out of left field, though. When I think of you, I think of destruction, not creation. Any particular reason you decided to make something for a change? I don't know. Just feel kinda something? Like it's hard to describe, but I've got this weird tightness in my chest that won't go away. I think it first showed up when I saw what happened to Keldick. It's got me all restless. I just feel like I've got to do something. It doesn't matter what, as long as I do it. I was hoping the feeling would go away when we caught Duke Alborea, but that didn't happen. If anything, Eustace having to arrest his dad only made things worse. Any idea what I've got, Dr. Rean? I know exactly what you got. And it's not anything unusual. It's called sadness. Everyone feels it sometimes, but I guess this might be the first time you have. So that's what this is. Neat. I had no idea. Never felt like this before. It's kinda out of character for me, though. Personally, I think this might actually be a good thing. It's a sign that you're growing and maturing. As a person, I mean. Not as an intelligence agent. I'm growing? Sad things happen. It's a fact of life. But it's by overcoming those things and moving past them that we can grow as people. So don't be ashamed of how you're feeling. There's no reason to hide it if you're sad. You matter too much to do that to yourself. Really think so? Yeah, okay. I'm still not totally sure how to deal with how I'm feeling right now. But thanks for talking to me about it. Their sad conversation complete, Rean and Milliam put the finished apple tart in the fridge to share with the rest of their friends later. Is that gonna, like, that wasn't a huge apple tart, is that gonna go around? Afterwards, they both left the Courageous and returned to Berehard. Like, you need to make more than that. Like, jeez. You need more? How are they gonna serve them? You can't slice that into... No! You need to make at least 2 or 3. Oh, God. Anyway. Mango. Eustace's recent actions have me thinking. My father stepped from the path of righteousness. Would I be able to do the same thing Eustace did? Would you? Don't even want to think about it. It could have been easy for him, of course. It'd take a lot of strength to stand up to your own father like that. Yeah, proud of him. Proud of him. That's how I'd say I feel. But I'm sure having our support is helping him make it through. Might not say it, but I think he appreciates us being here. You might be right. Aside from our support helping him, He's so full of himself that he's bound to recover once his ego reinflates itself. And on that note, I have shopping to do. Wouldn't want to show too much compassion, would we, Mango? I love their relationship, just that back and forth, like even when they're not there, I love it. How could he be here to buy, though? It's gonna be something for Eustace, surely. Probably a tea or something like that. What are you here to buy, anyway? Flowers for some special occasion? That's one way to put it. Actually, while you're here, mind helping me choose? Can make him happier if you did. It's gotta be a tea. It's gotta be a tea, because we know he doesn't like tea and all that type of stuff, because it's that idea of it's linked to the nobility, but it's like, so he'd buy Eustace that. It's gotta be tea. Together, Rean and Mango made their choice, and walked to the North Kreutzen Highway. Alright. This is Saar Bridge, right? Is there a reason you brought that bouquet, Mango? It's my way of paying respects. It's like, I see. This lake flows towards Celtic, so I guess here will do. It's for the market manager, isn't it? Well, yes. I owe him a lot, after all. It's because of him that we were able to avoid being noticed by the provincial army during our time in Celtic. I don't think Class 7 ever would have been reunited if it weren't for his help. It's frustrating, and that we'll never be able to pay him back. This is the least I can do for him. Mango. It's difficult to not say Macius then. It was the anniversary of my cousin's death the other day too, and I wasn't able to visit her grave. I couldn't with how things are at the moment, but it's the least I can do for her too. Oh, was it? What exactly are you planning to do with the bouquet? Gas taught me about an odd way of paying respects to the dead that I wanted to try. They say that by sending a bouquet down a river, your feelings will help reach those that have departed. This is my way of swearing an oath to both of them. That will make it through this war no matter what. And that I'll work toward turning Erebonia into a country where the innocent have no need to suffer anymore. That makes sense of what he becomes in Cold Steel 3 when you think about it. If only. Changing an entire country sounds impossible, but you know what, Mango? Part of me feels like we could pull it off. We can make it through this. There's no limit to what we can do, to what we can change. I really think so. I'm glad you feel the same as I do. I'm sure your cousin and the market manager are watching over us too. Let's make sure not to disappoint them. I wouldn't dream of it. Watch me, you two. Class 7 by my side, and make sure to fulfill this vow I've given. Rean and Macius stood in respectful silence as they watched the bouquet float into the distance. Once it was completely out of view, they walked back to Berea. I feel like there's that feeling in my head of like as I'm developing with his story and his connection to Eustace, like I feel like the Mango is being dropped, which is like, but I like Mango because for me it's a nickname of affection. It's not kind of how it started, but it's very much like it's a name of affection for him. But it's like, I think it's like once the Celtic thing hit, it's almost like I've matured in that joke at the same time as he's matured with the situation that happened in Celtic. It's like, I just want to call him Macius now. Like, he's grown up, so it's like, well, he's not a kid, so I can't call him Mango anymore. That doesn't seem right. He's grown, so he should be called by his name. I don't know. There's that strange feeling where it's like, yeah, he's Macius now. He's Macius now. I wonder what's going to happen to Celtic now. Sure, Duke Alvaret has been dealt with, but that's not going to heal the sadness in the heart. And apprehending his own dad isn't exactly going to cheer Eustace up either. Seems pretty down. I wonder if I can do something to cheer him up. Yes, of course. I've got an idea. Hey, Elliot. what do you say we head over to the restaurant in the central plaza? There's a piano there. And some more instruments, weren't there? Yeah. Which one? The one Eustace's uncle runs. I think it might just cheer you up a bit. Deciding that this was the best way to cheer him up, Rean brought Elliot to the Saucier restaurant. Once there, they received special permission from Eustace's uncle to go up to the VIP floor. Wait, you need permission to do that? I've been running up there to do the rounds quite a bit. What a beautiful melody, indeed. That pianist's been in several music magazines, you know. Oh, so she's famous. That'd explain how her music manages to resonate so well. Only the pros can manage that. Of course, the same goes for you too, Elliot. What? No way. Just hearing her play makes me realize that I've still got a long way to go. The world of music really is deep. Your mum was a pianist too, wasn't she? Yeah. I remember how she used to play all sorts of stuff for us. She'd always play something fun and light-hearted for me and Fiona, whenever we were down. But like a charm, always cheered us right up. Bet she did the same for Dad too. Thanks, Rean. I can see why you brought me here now. You wanted to remind me that music has the power to inspire and help people move on, right? Guilty. It's just a shame I couldn't do it with my own performance, really. That would have been cool. Sorry for sucking. Just like, sorry for sucking, alright. Don't be so hard on yourself, Rean. In fact, it helped me realize that there's still something I can do for the people of Celtic. Now I just need the time and an ideal opportunity. Give us a shout when that time comes, okay? We'll gladly help you out. Right, I think it's about time I had a go at it myself. Listening is nice, but nothing beats actually playing. Works for me. Knowing Elliot wouldn't back down after setting his heart on playing, Rean asked Hammond and the pianist for permission. Fortunately, they were more than happy to agree, and everyone in the restaurant was soon able to enjoy a special performance from him. And surprisingly, he played on par with the pianist before him. Both Rean and the customers couldn't help but be fully entranced by the wonderful sound of his music. There we go. Rush 2. Right, so what I'm thinking of doing, actually, let's get out of this area. It's like, I would normally be like around now, be like, let's end the part, but I'm actually going to sort of like do the rounds at the same time as we're doing the bonding. I will just do this slightly different because it's like, it's more sectioned off, so it's sort of like, this would actually feel like a good idea. So it's like, let's do the rounds at the airport and the Station Street. That feels logical to me. Like get that out of the way now in this part, and then just split it up. So it's like when we go off and do like Elisa's and Fee's and Gaius's bonding, we'll do the rounds at the end of that part as well. It's like that's a good way of doing it here. It's like don't get the opportunity to do that properly most of the time. So leave the courageous' maintenance to us. Eustace has always been especially good to me. Can only hope this will allow me to go some way to returning the favor. What's happened here? I'm so bored. Oh dear, looks like we came at a bad time. What should we do? Oh, I do hope something works out. What happened? Duke Alburet has been arrested. How the devil did that happen? I haven't a clue what's been happening here while I've been away. Perhaps I should go and ask Baron Caroline. In times like these, friends are the ones who can count on most. I haven't a clue what's been happening here while I've been away, so I should go and ask Baron Caroline. Yes, maybe. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I've told you all I know. It's been announced that there is no danger in the city itself, at least. So please don't concern yourself. Phew, with yesterday's battle now over, the airships are finally back in operation. Of course, there's still a ton of issues that remain. The Empire's citizens have yet to fully comprehend the situation here, in Berehard at the moment, for one. And don't forget the recent hijacking that still needs to be addressed. It'll be a while yet before things return to normal. Explaining the situation to each and every customer is proving to be rather draining. I realize that complaining won't help things, but it'd be nice if things return to normal soon. The great Berehard overtaken by those reformist cretins? How dare they? How dare they? If only Lord Rufus were here, he would eradicate them for us. How is Princess Alphen involved in all of this? Official statements claim she was being kept safe in Heimdall. Lord Rufus refuses to make a move despite the peril we face too. I had to make assumptions, but well, something seems off here. Yes, doesn't it? If only Lord Rufus were here. We've made it a point to station the bare minimum of soldiers here, so not to upset the citizens too much. Well, it's clever, yeah. Actually, if you want to help on that front, we'd like you to report any and all happenings to us if possible. I'm sure you all have a better grasp of what's happening in town than we will. That's a good idea, yeah. Sorry for troubling you, Rean. Don't worry about it. Just make sure you don't end up catching a cold or anything, okay? Duly noted. Maybe I'll make myself some hot tea when we get back. Indeed. Seeing Berehard taken over by the reformists certainly isn't something I expected to see within my lifetime. Triple dot? This isn't some sort of strange dream, is it? It was far too surreal. There's a surprising lack of Imperial soldiers in town. It was a bit of a shock. Perhaps there's no need for us to feel threatened then. Threatened? It seems like we'll be returning home in a timely manner today. What a relief. I was rather worried when she mentioned she was going out. These are dangerous times, after all. Terrifying indeed. Seeing so many tanks and armored cars in town almost made my heart stop. Why must we get swept up in all of this when it's a man's job to deal with war? I'm so fraught with worry. I could hardly focus on anything. Yesterday was truly something else. Hello? Whoa! Both myself and my husband were terrified. We never expected that Duke Aberea would be arrested either. What does this mean for Berehard? I continue to find myself amazed by their ability to bump into one another. Lady Aselin seems to be out shopping too. They do share a passion for it. Well, I guess everything worked out for the best back there. Even if the Society's plans are still a big, scary blank right now. Try not to think about it. Important thing is, we brought a little more peace to Berehard. Just hope Duke and Scarlet show signs of repentance. Speaking of which, I was surprised at the way you saved that terrorist. You're probably the first person ever to use their knight like that. Something impressive about you, Rean. Come again? You heard nothing? Time to relax. Should probably follow my lead. Trust me, you're gonna need your energy soon enough. So might as well get as much of it back as you can. Thanks for the talk, Rean. I might not be much of a captain yet, but I'll keep working at it. The better I get, the sooner we can take back our academy. I still can't believe all of this is really happening. First, we were told the Noble Alliance had the advantage, but then Berehard was pulled into the war. And now the Imperial Army has stationed their troops here. This is just asking for trouble. If you're a troop stationed in a city filled with nobles, is just asking for trouble. I hope nothing terrible comes of this. So many armored cars sped through the town. Then we heard cannon fire and gunshots from the highway. Can't believe this would happen so close to town. Why can't this war just end already? Just how long do we need to suffer through this war? We can't let the people of Keldik's countless sacrifices go to waste. So whatever it takes, let's change this nation and give it a brighter future. Right. Yesterday was absolutely terrifying. We could hear the battle taking place even in here. I don't think we could have asked for a bigger reminder that our country's at war. Apologies. I know I shouldn't be so gloomy when sales depend on me. But I can't help but agree with my father now. what truly is a terrifying thing. You didn't agree before? Like, what? I never would have expected the Duke to fall from power. Of course, what he did to Celtic was beyond horrific, so perhaps he had it coming. The better question now is, what will become of the taxes? It's my main concern. I have mixed feelings about what's happening, but my main concern right now is simply getting on with my life. On that note, if they could lower the taxes back to normal, that'd be just dandy. I heard about what Duke Abarea did to Celtic. It's hardly an action one can condone, in my opinion. I believe most others feel the same. He's probably receiving his deserts now. He's probably receiving his just deserts now. Can't just sweep Duke Abarea's actions under the rug this time. At least Lord Eustace was able to resolve the situation with his own hands. Both my lady and the rest of the household are beside themselves with worry at the moment. The master is still away too, so I shall return home early today for their sake. There's still a number of things I want to purchase, but alas. I made it a point of telling them that we're in no immediate danger, but that didn't seem to alleviate their fears at all. It seems I have no choice but to return home early today for their sake. Christie's is full of Kreuzen's most recognized stories, like Woo Baby. So we can't afford to close shop regardless of the circumstances. We have our pride, you know. But I do admit to being unclear on what we should do from here on out. The reason we're Kreuzen's most recognized Galleria is because we serve its nobles, after all. Don't seem to be in any immediate danger, so business will continue as usual for now. As for what the future holds, we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Thanks for the help, Rean. That probably would have been a big pain in the butt if you weren't there. And now we can treat everyone later. But there's not enough pieces of... You can't make... No! There's not enough tart. Are we done anyway? I feel like we're done on the... It feels short on the rounds. It was like, it makes sense because we're stopping there and we'll do the rest of the rounds, like I said, when we go off and do more bonding later on. It's like, yeah, that works out nicely. It'd be nice if that could be done in future in some way. It's like, keep an eye on that as an idea, because that feels nicely succinct, end of the part, all that type of stuff. Still thinking of ways of how it can improve the rounds and stuff like that. So it's like, even if you have ideas, by the way, for that type of thing, of like, well, it might be better for that. It might flow better if we did this. Like, very open to ideas. Always open to ideas. Always open to ideas. So, we'll see you in the next part anyway, with some more bonding and a little bit of rounds at the end. So, ta-ta for now.